Assalamu alaikum. I am Noman Ilyas and I am here with my group members Waleed Wali Khan and Salman Muazzam. Today we are going to delve into a critical analysis of the Follina attack. This vulnerability poses a significant threat to Microsoft Office users, and in this presentation we will explore its origins, impact and countermeasures. Let's begin our journey into understanding the Follina attack. The Follina vulnerability is a high-severity security flaw found in Microsoft Office products, allowing easy exploitation for remote code execution or RCE attacks. It was initially disclosed as a zero-day vulnerability via a tweet by NASEC on May 27, 2022, with the first recorded instance of malware leveraging it observed on April 7, 2022. This vulnerability exploits built-in MS URL handlers to trigger msdt.exe, enabling the execution of PowerShell commands. The primary method for exploiting Follina is through phishing emails containing malicious Office documents. Once a victim opens such a document, it grants the attacker RCE capabilities within the compromised Office application, potentially leading to arbitrary code execution with the application privileges. This could allow the attacker to install programs, manipulate, delete data, or create new accounts, all within the user's right context. Follina is regarded as relatively easy to exploit and poses a severe threat due to its potential for remote code execution. The Follina exploit targets a vulnerability in Microsoft Office and registered as a CVE 2022-3190 that allows for remote code execution. It works by embedding a link in an Office document to an external HTML file hosted on a malicious server. When opened, the document leverages the Microsoft Support Diagnostic Tool MSDT URI protocol handler to download and execute malware on the victim's machine. In this slide, we are going to discuss the vulnerability details. This vulnerability is registered as CVE 2022-3190. The vulnerability affects the Microsoft Support Diagnostic Tool, a standard component of the company's Windows operating system. First of all, crooks start a new phishing wave and send an email to lure the victim with an MS Office file containing the exploit. The user opens the MS Office file. After that, the first payload executes via a controlled external resource hard-coded in the document.xml.ref file. The Follina payload is transmitted to the victim site. The code then executes additional payloads, PowerShell commands, and so on. It abuses the legitimate Microsoft Support Diagnostic Tool. The Follina exploits execute an external reference pointing at a malicious server. By analyzing the file, it's possible to find the target file, where the OLE object external reference is present. The attacker can then install programs, view, change, or delete data, or create new accounts in the context allowed by the user rights. The Follina vulnerability primarily affects Microsoft Office version installed on Windows operating systems. Follina impacts several versions of Microsoft Office, including Office 2013, 16, 19, and 21, as well as some of versions included with the Microsoft 365 license. It affects all Windows desktop and server versions since 2007, which include Windows 7, 8, 10, Windows Server 2008, 2012, 2016, and 2019. Some of the Mac OS versions are also exploitable using Follina vulnerability. The Follina payload can be delivered remotely through the opening of an infected document. Threat actors commonly deliver the malicious Office document as email attachments or via social engineering lures. Opening the document would then trigger the exploitation workflow, which include following steps. The document contains a link to an external HTML file hosted on an attacker-controlled domain. Opening the document loads HTML content via the MSDT URI handler instead of the default HTML renderer. Embedded JavaScript code in the HTML file then execute the malware payload downloaded from the remote server. The payload runs with full user privileges, allowing complete system compromise. To remedy vulnerable systems, the following steps needed to be taken. Apply the MS 2022-0166 security patch released on June 14, 2022. This fixed the MSDT URI handling flaw. Disable the MSDT protocol handler via group policy or registry edits to prevent accidental execution. Exercise caution opening Office files from unknown sources until all machines have installed necessary patches. Keep antivirus and other security software up to date to detect and block non-Follina payloads. Educate end users about opening suspicious emails and following secure computing practices. There are several mitigation strategies that can be used to protect against the Follina vulnerability. First of all, remove admin rights and enforce true least privilege. Secondly, Microsoft recommends disabling the MS Diagnostic utility as a temporary workaround to mitigate the risk of Follina attacks. It is important to keep your software up to date with the latest security patches to help prevent Follina attacks. Follina attacks are primarily delivered via phishing emails that contain malicious documents. It is important to exercise caution when opening email attachments or clicking on links from unknown sources to help prevent these attacks. Implement an incident response plan and backup and recovery strategy. Now let's take a moment to acknowledge the valuable sources that contributed to this presentation. These references provide essential information on the Follina vulnerability and its impact. If you would like to explore this topic further or verify the details we have discussed, here are the key references. Thank you once again for your time and participation. Wishing you a secure and informed journey in the digital world. Stay safe.